You are welcome to tutorials with from a Timetable school board. We have two centers, Center 1 or Class A. Then this Class A or Center 1 is for JAM classes and other entrance exams. You know JAM is a kind of entrance exam. Then another entrance exams, be it nursing and what have you. Basically, our focus is on English, maths, chemistry, physics, and what? Biology. That's where our focus is. Then Class B, Center 2 or Class B holds here. That one is purely for WAEC classes and other O-level examinations. Now, here we have for our Center A, the lectures is for Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 4 to 6 p.m. 4 to 6 p.m. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays and Fridays, 4 to 6 p.m. And the subjects are as follows. On Monday, the subject is physics. Tuesday, the subject is mathematics. Thursday, the subject is what again? Remind us, what again? Remind us, you. You don't have a timetable. Alright, Thursdays is, we have biology / English. Then Fridays is chemistry. Now, this biology / English, what happens here is this: we alternate it. If we do biology this week, the following week we do English. But this one that has calculations is once a week, 2 hours. Sometimes it may extend up to 2 hours, and depending on when we start. So this is timetable for the entrance exam classes. Then for the Center 2 or Class B, this is only Wednesdays. Now, for where we have Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays is 4 to 6 p.m. here. Wednesdays is 4 to 6 p.m. Then this Wednesday, the subject, we have the same way we have here. We have biology / English. Like today, last week was English. So today it was biology. But Saturdays we have chemistry, physics, and what? Maths. Chemistry, physics, and maths. What happens is each of them is 2-hour period. 2-hour period each of them. But if it is on a Saturday, we don't have anything. Maybe there's nothing to do. Maybe there's no sanitation, and all things being equal, we start from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. But we observe break after each subject, up to 1 hour break or so after each subject. So, but if it is like this coming Saturday is sanitation. On sanitation day, we start from 12 noon to 6 p.m. on sanitation days. And unless something else happened that I'm not able to maybe something takes me out of town, it will not hold. But there will be always information will be given to you. So that's what happens. So this 9 to 6 p.m. we take chemistry, physics, maths. No matter what, every Saturday we must take chemistry, even if it's one hour, depending on what happened that day. So this is the timetable for the classes. I'm doing this because you're coming for the first time. So today, as I said before now, here is for YA classes. And we don't play, that's what is called review. We call it review. We don't play with assignments. We don't play with assignment. Any assignment given, we try and do it, because if you come, we will review the assignment. In our review, the students that will come out and talk to us. You are going to come out and tell us what you did in assignment review. So that's what we do. But before each day, if I give assignment today, the next day we review the assignment before we do the class for the lecture for the day. That's what we do. All right. Once again, you are welcome to Tutorial with Mechanical School Board. Now, we are going into biology, and we are following YX syllabus strictly here. We follow YX syllabus strictly without adding or removing anything from the syllabus. That's what we do. And what we also do, are you on WhatsApp? What we also do is that we have a WhatsApp group where we add our students. All our lectures, we record our lectures. We record our lectures and we upload it on our YouTube channel. So the student can always listen to the lectures. Maybe want to have a kind of revision of what we did. Even in addition to the test groups you have, whatever material you have to read, you also listen to it. Even if you miss classes, every lecture will be posted there. The link will be posted there. You can open the link, listen to it, use textbook to make up. Okay? That's what we do. Now, so we are starting from the beginning. We are starting from the what? From the beginning. Now we have biology. A kind of introduction. What is biology? What is biology? Who can give us an overview of what biology is in one sentence? Who can help us with that? What is biology? If you ask now, what is biology? What can you say? What's your name? So what can you say about biology? If you ask what is biology, what can you say? Maybe you are with somebody and the person asking you, okay, where did you go? I went to lesson. Okay, that's good. Which subject do you say biology? What is biology? What can you say? Yeah. And they were okay, good. Sit down. That's a good definition. Hello, are we together? So biology is one of the words, pure sciences. Biology is one of the pure sciences. Other ones are pure basic science. Other ones are the three pure basic sciences we have are biology, chemistry, and what? Physics. These subjects, they are basic because other subjects, other areas of sciences are built from where? Biology. If you say you are a medical doctor or you want to be a nurse, you have elements of what? Biology in whatever you are doing. As a nurse, as a medical doctor, as a physiologist, you have element of chemistry in whatever you are doing. Even physics. If you are an engineer, you have more of physics, chemistry, and a little of what? Biology. So these are the three basic words. Science. Then what is biology? But what is science in all? If you are asked now what is science, what can you say about science? If you are asked what is science, let's start from there before we even go to biology. Science is what is you? The what? Of what? Nature. Good. Good. Science is the study of what? Natural things what? Around us. But that will be what? Systematic. So I think I like that definition. We know that science studies everything about natural things around us. So science is the study of natural things around us. But it needs to be what? Systematic. Because there's a method you follow to study these natural things. So I think I like that definition. A science is the systematic study of nature or natural things around us. Are we together? So science is the systematic study of natural things around us, or nature, as the case may be. They're the same thing. If you say nature, you are talking about natural things. Because natural came from where? The word natural came from where? Nature. So, good. That's a nice one from Izu. That's good. Izu has woken up. That's good. That's good. Now, so what is now biology? I said before now that biology is one of the what? Pure basic sciences we have. Now, what is biology? As you say, biology studies what? Living things, right? Good. So biology is a branch of science or pure sciences that does what? Studies what? Living what? Things. If you want to now go further, of course, as you study living things, you have to study their what? Composition, right? Study what they're made up of. But basically, then you simply define biology as a study of what? As a study of what? Living things. This branch of science, or pure science, that studies what? Living what? Things. That's what biology is. Now, this is just definition by the meaning, but you know, there's what is called etymological meaning. Etymological. The word etymological stands for how the meaning of a particular concept from the name. Am I communicating? How the name was coined. From there you can extract the meaning. Etymologically, the word biology came from two Greek words, right? Bios and what? Bios and what? And what? Logos. Good. Bios and what? Logos. Etymologically, biology, the term biology came from what? Two words, Greek words. Bios and what? Logos. Bios means what? Bios means what? Life. Good. While logos means what? Study. Good. Study. So if you now combine these two and bring it to English, you have what? Biology. Either you say study or knowledge. Study or knowledge. Logos talks about what? Study or what? Knowledge. Study or what? Knowledge. Now, this is the what we mean by what? Biology. Are we together? Are we together? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? No question. Let's continue. Now, do you think biology, this is just introduction. Do you think biology has anything to offer in science as a science subject? Do you think there's usefulness of biology as a science student? Now that you are here, each and every one of you have a course you want to study. You want to study nursing, right? You are already a pharmacy student, right? And you should say you want to study agriculture. So let's start from here. Do you think biology has anything to offer? Of course, whether nursing or pharmacy or medicine, they are in healthcare professionals, true of us. Now, even as a nurse, do you think biology has anything to do? Any usefulness? Share with us what you think.
It helps us to know substances that can fight against things like bacteria and things like that.
I agree with you because from there, biology, they are rooted study of all those aspects of sciences and those microorganisms is also rooted in what? Biology, even though it's under microbiology. Microbiology is still rooted in what? Biology. Even parasitology is still rooted in what? Biology. Good. I think it's okay. Now, in the aspect of medicine, of course, when you say medicine, but if I say medicine now, I'm now talking about all the healthcare profession. Now, with the knowledge of biology will help you even now, apart from those microorganisms, you also think of the human body. True of us. Human being is an organ. True of us. Human being is a living thing. Biology studies what? Living thing. So for as a nurse, or as a medical doctor, or as a pharmacist, you also study human being. So if you don't have knowledge of biology, then let's assume you didn't do biology at all in your secondary school. From nowhere, you just started studying medicine. If you don't think you understand anything, if they mention a particular part of the body, you do know where you will think that the osophagus is here because you didn't do what? Biology. So how will you now, even maybe you're a medical doctor or you want to study medicine, how will you now know the part of the human body to study? Because you didn't do biology, you have no foundation of what human body is made up of. So you cannot do that unless you go back and study what? Biology. That's why they made it compulsory that before you can get admission to study medicine, nursing, pharmacy, health care related profession, or any profession that has to do with human being, even in agri side, and you have to do what? Study what? Biology, because it's very, very what? Important. So in the aspect of medicine, apart from the human body, you have mentioned microorganisms. Now you listed microorganisms, vaccines, those in pharmacy aspect, vaccines and drugs they manufacture. You need to study human body before you know how this drug and this vaccine can act in the body. True of us. If you don't study all those things, you don't know what impact they will have in what? Human body. Because everything gears towards human health. True of us. Gears towards human health. So even the drug you are manufacturing, the vaccine, you need to know the part of human body that this drug can act and the effect of the microorganisms in the system that you want to fight. So all these things are built upon what? Biology. Without biology, you cannot do that. Okay? Now, so if you are now asked what is the relevance of biology in medicine, I believe you can discuss it. You are asking now what is the relevance of biology in medicine. I believe you start from human body. Biology help in what? To know your human body, different parts of the body. You now go to drugs. Even the drug you want, if you say you want to produce drug that will help to treat disease in human body, two things are involved. You need to study those organisms that you want to do what? Use the drug to do what? Fight. True of us. Let's assume you mentioned plasmodium that causes what? Malaria, right? Now, if you want to treat malaria, if you don't know the structure, the nature, the body, what plasmodium is made up of, can you manufacture drug that will attack plasmodium? You cannot. You need to study plasmodium. Not just studying plasmodium, you also study the human body, the human system. So you are studying a lot of things at the same time to be able to do what? Produce that drug that can fight those these organisms in the body. So it's a wonderful area of study. So biology is very, very foundational when it comes to what? Health care. Now, agriculture. You mentioned agriculture. You said you want to study agriculture. Do you think that biology has any usefulness in agriculture? Tell us what do you think. Talk to us. We are listening. Eizu, talk to us, we're listening. No idea. Are you serious? Do you think biology has any usefulness in agriculture? Tell us, what do you think? Let's hear it from you. In what? Farmers. Okay.
It helps in movement based to cultivate the crop, like when that crop yield well.
When that crop will do what?
Yield better.
Yield better, okay.
And
listen, I mean, we're listening, eh? We're listening. You're making sense. So just stop. You're making sense. Stop. You are making sense. Talk to us. What else? Continue. Now listen. You know in definition of biology, we say that biology is the what? Is the branch of science, right? That studies living things. Are you also aware that biology also, in a way, even though not totally as in very deeply, but it studies the habitat, the environment of what? Living things. True of us. That's why we have ecology in biology. There's a branch we call what? Ecology. You study biosphere, right? Because this has to do with where the living things stay or live or breed and do other things. Biology also studies that, even though it may not be that very, very, very deep, the branch that studies, what branch of science go deep into that? Geography. That's why sometimes if you study geography, have you noticed that if you are reading geography textbook, you see that there are some topics in geography textbook you see in what? Biology. True of us. There are some topic in geography textbook you see in biology and see in agricultural what? Sciences. True of us. Yes. There's a reason for that. Now, biology also studies that physical environment in a way. Now, in agriculture, when you say agriculture, it's not just about crop. You also talk about crop, plants. You also talk about animals too. Hope you know. Are you aware? Animals. You also talk about what? Animals. In what? Agricultural what? Sciences. Now, what is the importance of biology in this agricultural science? There's what they do now. They try to study. Biology, agriculture doesn't go deep into plants part. Hope you know. Does it go? Agriculture, does it go deep into studying the parts of plants? It's biology that does that, right? Because there's a branch of biology called what? Botany. True of us, that studies what? Plants. It's biology that goes deep into studying plants, as in plant anatomy, plant structure, what plant is composed of, even to the level of cells and tissues that make up what? Plant. Now, your knowledge of biology will help you to actually re-engineer, to be able to engineer the plants, to be able to generate yield good crop what? Production. That's how you work on the plant, you yield a better what? Crop what? Production. Am I communicating? Now, agricultural scientists has a lot to learn on what? Botany. Because whatever happens to how they when you come to maybe reproduction in the plants, is biology that does what? Studies that. Without reproduction, whether by asexual or sexual, would that be crop production? Will there be? There will not be. Two of us that will have flowering plants growing and the crop, whether crop be what any type of even in horticulture, flowers. If there is no reproduction, will there be more flowers? Now, there's what is called breeding, crossbreeding. You can actually crossbreed to develop a better species that can either withstand a particular environment or yield a better crop production as the case may be. The knowledge of biology helps those in agriculture to be able to do what? Achieve that. I don't know if I'm making sense. Good. That's basically the basic. Okay. What?
Fertilizer.
Okay, good. Fertilizer. Even though the fertilizer production has a lot to do with chemistry and what? Biology. Hope you know. Coming together, three of us. Because fertilizers are chemicals, three of us. Then the plants and the soil, where you cultivate, where you introduce the word fertilizer, you need to study the word, the soil, three of us. Good. Then the plants, you want to use the fertilizer to improve the yield. If you don't know about plants, you cannot do what? Produce a better fertilizer that will help to do what? Improve the what? Crop yield. So all these things, they are interrelated. But basically, these things are saying are the basic usefulness of what? Biology to what? Agriculture. So it's very, very important. What do you want to study? Which course do you want to study? Chigozo? Physiology. Geology. Okay, you want to be a geologist. That's good. Okay. Now, do you think biology has? Now, we are discussing usefulness of biology in different professions. Okay, good. We discussed medicine. Under medicine, we talked about. We just use medicine as a broad name, or simply healthcare. In healthcare, we talk about medicine, nursing, pharmacy, and what have you. Then we now came down to agricultural sciences. Okay, you want to say something? Okay. About what?
Biology.
Okay.
Agricultural engineering.
About what?
In agricultural engineering.
Okay.
Does biology have any role?
Agricultural engineering is not really a core. It's not really core, but you still have knowledge of biology. You know, agricultural engineering is more engineering than science. Hope you know. It's more of engineering than what? Science. In agricultural engineering, you go deeper into the machineries. Three of us. Hope you know. Are you aware? You go into the mechanization of what? Agriculture. You go deeper into what? All those machineries you use in agriculture and what have you, their design and what have you. But because you are still dealing with plants, animals, you still have one or two things to do with what? Biology, but not as deep as someone that studies agricultural what? An agricultural scientist. Hope you know that an agricultural engineer and agricultural scientist are not the same thing. Hope you know. Are you aware? Good. That is the same thing. The same way a computer scientist and a computer engineer are not exactly the same thing. Even though they talk about both this computer, but scientists go more into the science, talk of what that has to do with computer, softwares, trying to, programming, all those things. But an agricultural engineer is more into the hardwares and other things. Are you aware that your system may spoil if you go to a computer scientist? You may not really do much there. Maybe if it has to do with servicing, working on it. But if you go to software, programming, different A scientist may do more. It's more into that. Except maybe a scientist that also learn one or two things in that aspect, but it's not actually his or her what area. Are we together? That's why if you want to go and do computer training, they mention hardware, but they may not go into how to repair them. True of us. Now, so that's borrow this same idea and take it to what agricultural. They need the knowledge of biology, but not that. They are not going deep like agricultural what scientists. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Good. Now, do you think agriculture has anything to do? Has anything to do with what do you call it again? Okay. Physiologists study what? Agriculture. I hope you know. Sorry, biology. Are you aware? Physiologists study what? Study the functions of the human body. True of us. Functions of what? Human body. Normal functions of what? Human body. That's their area. Even though that's why if you want to be a medical doctor, you need to study what? Physiology, but not as a separate course, as a course in what? Medicine, because physiology purely focus on what? Normal function of what? Human body. Even though they may go a bit into the human body in disease states, but not too deep as someone that is studying that pathology. That's a branch we call pathology. That one is purely talk about diseases, the normal physiology, that is abnormal physiology of what? Human body. You learn this when you come up a bit as to study what maybe nursing or medicine or pharmacy. All these things are still rooted in what? Biology. They are still rooted in what? Biology. Now, there's something else I want to let us know. Since we have agreed that biology studies that biology is a science. Now, and it's systematic. Whatever you are doing in biology, maybe you want to study a particular phenomenon, you do it what? Systematically. That's why we have what is called scientific method. Have you heard of it before? Scientific what? Method. Have you heard of it before? Have you heard of it before? No. Okay, tell us what is scientific method you do? To make a law or theory. Now listen. Give me again, please. Michael, you said you've not heard of scientific method. Now listen. I think everybody here has heard about scientific method. You know, as a scientist, let me start like this. As a scientist is supposed to be what? Inquisitive. You know what I mean by being inquisitive? Now, see what I mean by being inquisitive. A scientist is not somebody that will just come to a particular place and see something that is happening without putting interest to find out why that thing is happening, especially natural phenomena that is observe natural phenomena. Now, to be able to give a conclusion that is not biased, that is not sentimental, based on what you think, to arrive at the conclusion that if somebody else tests that thing, it will give the same results. You should follow what is called scientific method. So scientific method is a systematic approach. You can put that one down. Even if you are not putting anything down, if you listen to this lecture, it will help you to make a comprehensive note. I don't like my students copy when I'm teaching, because if you don't understand, you don't know what you're copying. True of us. If you understand it, if you have opportunity to maybe have data to listen to this thing, you can make up your notes and have a comprehensive notes. But the basic thing is to do what? Understand it first. Okay? Good. Now, what is scientific method? Scientific method is a systematic approach. It's a systematic approach to investigating inquiries that arise from an observed natural phenomenon. Scientific method. Our reference book for today is Modern Biology for Senior Secondary School by Sarojini Ramalingam, revised edition 2018, as revised by Lucy Ayakunwa and JBC Obidiwe. This is our reference book for today, Modern Biology. How many of you have this Modern Biology? Do you have it? Which one do you have? Okay, that one is okay. It's okay too. It's okay. Now, scientific method is a systematic approach to investigating inquiries. It's a systematic approach to investigating inquiries that arise from an observed natural phenomenon. Scientific method is a systematic approach to investigating inquiries that arise from an observed natural phenomenon. Now, what does this thing mean? It said that scientific method is a systematic approach to investigating inquiries that arise from an observed natural phenomenon. By inquiry, I mean the inquisitiveness of a science student or a scientist. You see a natural phenomenon, you see something that is happening. A natural phenomenon. Remember, biology studies what? Science studies what? Natural things around. I hope you know. Systematic study of what? Nature. Now you observe a natural phenomenon. You should be able to develop, ask questions, make inquiry about that natural phenomenon. But you don't just do it anyhow. You follow a particular approach, systematic approach, to study this observed natural phenomenon. Now let me use an example now. If you plant, I like using this as an example. Has any of you tried planting maybe bean or maybe bean or maize? Planting it and or even yam. Notice that. Okay, who among you has noticed something? That if you pack yam here, yam here, pack yam here, and cover this place, close this place, and leave maybe through the window. The window is open. If you leave the yam here for some time, it will start growing what? Tendrils, right? And they will come out. You have noticed that they always. How you know that something is going on? If you look at the window, you see them growing towards the window. Have you ever observed such? Who has observed such here? Have you observed it? The tendrils or the stem, as case may, or is the tendrils now? They will come out and start growing towards what? The window. Now, this can be taken as a what? Natural phenomenon. Maybe each time, maybe you pack yam, maybe you after harvesting, or maybe some people gave it for yam, you pack it, you couldn't finish it, you couldn't even eat much. Maybe you are not much in your family, but you have up to 100 tubers of yam. Maybe you under 2 months, you eating only 10 under 2 months. The other one will start growing. And each time you notice that every time you keep yam here, they will start growing. That thing will start growing. The tennis will start growing towards the window. Why? as a science student, you are asking question what? Why does it what happen? This was how it started. How scientists, how botanists started studying the reason why this is happening. At the end, they realized that what causes that is that because of what? Sunlight. Because of light, they grew towards what? Source of what? Light. That was how they concluded that they grew towards what? Source of light. But how did they arrive at such conclusion? They didn't just say, they grew towards this light. No. They carried out, they followed scientific what? Method. And this leads us to these stages of what? Scientific method. The first stage is what? Observation. The first stage is what? Observation. What is what? Observation. I'm now using that yam, whatever, as a case study. For example, now you kept the yam here and you notice that it is growing towards the window. You may say, you may put up, that's a what? An observation, right? You start asking yourself, why is yam growing in such manner? You start asking yourself, there must be a reason why this is happening. You are making inquiry. You are being inquisitive here now as a scientist. Now, after much thinking and much observation, you can simply, okay, maybe you keep it. First one, it happened. Second one, it happened. You may say, there is okay. You may put up what is called what? Hypothesis, okay? You may put up what is called what? Hypothesis. That will lead us to the second stage, which is what? Hypothesis. This will lead us to the second stage we call what? Hypothesis. And what is this hypothesis? What is this hypothesis? Hypothesis is a reasonable explanation. Hypothesis is a reasonable explanation for a particular observation or natural phenomenon. Hypothesis is a reasonable what? Reasonable what? Explanation for a particular what? Observation or natural phenomenon. You have observed it. The moment you start saying it in your mind, the moment you start saying or write it down, any way you want to do it, the moment you say, okay, whenever you keep yam, it grows towards the window. Maybe the yam grows towards the window because the window is open. That may form a what? Hypothesis. Am I communicating? Because you are trying to explain why it's happening. That can be what? Hypothesis. Because you are trying to explain what you observe. That's what I said, that hypothesis is a reasonable explanation of for a what? An observed what? Observed what? Phenomenon, natural phenomenon. Now you can say, okay, whenever you plant anything or whenever you keep yam, the tendrils will grow towards the window because the window is open. It may be an hypothesis. Hope you know. Now, you could also say, whenever the yam tendril grow towards the window because of light, is what? Hypothesis. Hypothesis is not a fact, because hypothesis can be positive, can be true, it can be what? False. Am I communicating? Hypothesis can be true, it can be what? False. It's just an explanation you make based on what you do what? Observe. Based on that thing you observed and the hypothesis you gave, you may now go and start the third step, or stage, which is called what? Called what? Experiments. Okay? You then carry out experiment to check whether that hypothesis is true or false. Okay? To check whether the hypothesis is true or what? False. You carry out what? The experiment. An experiment. You carry out an experiment to check whether the what? Hypothesis is what? True or what? False. Now you design the experiments. Under the experiment, we have what is called controlled experiments. I will explain what I mean by controlled experiment. Now let's assume now you can conduct the experiment by saying okay, let me now keep about 2, 3, 4 tubers of yam here in this room, and keep in another room, and close the window of one room, hello, and leave the window of the other room what? Open. Are we together? Now, you may now start, give them everything, expose it to the same condition, the same timing, the same everything, temperature, as the case may be, and watch what happens. Watch what happens to the one that is in a closed room, no window, and watch what happens to the one that you open one of the window. Or it may even be you may put them in 2 different rooms, leave the window, open this window in one room, you open window for this side, you keep the window of the other side open. Then in the other room you keep the window of the other side open. Or you may even you just use small thing to demarcate the room. The window may be in different positions, and you watch 2 of them. After give them the same time, you now come back and realize that if you realize that one is moving towards that particular direction, and that direction where the window is, and the other one is going towards the direction where the other window is, instead of taking the same direction the other what you observed before took, then that will now bring your attention to the fact that this thing may be what? True. Okay? That this hypothesis is what? True. You may also carry out what is called controlled experiment. By controlled experiment, you keep everything constant. The only thing that everything constant, but you will not allow window to be open, and you watch whether that one will even grow at all. You may find out that one may not even grow at all. Are we together? You now start saying, okay, what it means is that this plant actually needs light to do what? To grow, and they grow towards the what? Source of the what? Light. That becomes that is the experiment you conducted. Okay, that if you do that and you notice that it's giving you the same result, it lead to what is called what? It will lead to what is called what? Theory. Are you following? It will lead to what is called what? Theory. That is, if the hypothesis is true, it will lead to what is called what? Theory. But sometimes the hypothesis may not be true. Let's assume that you now conducted the experiment, and you notice that even if you like, put the yam under yam here, the same all condition, but the position of the window is different. You notice that the thing still grow in that particular what? Direction. That means something is wrong. Then you now go to your control experiment where there is no wind at all. You notice that the plant, the yam tendril, still grow as if nothing happened, and still take that direction. Then you know that it's not about light. True of us. You know that it has no business with what? light. If such thing happens, that means your hypothesis is what? False. It's not what? Correct. And if your hypothesis is not correct, you cancel that hypothesis and observe the thing again and formulate another what? Hypothesis. We go back and observe that thing properly again and formulate another hypothesis. And after formulating the hypothesis, you start testing it again using designing another what? Experiment. This is what, Michael, are you feeling sleepy? Stand up. Just walk around. You can walk around this so you don't sleep. Okay. Now, if you conduct another experiment on the new hypothesis you formulated, and the hypothesis is proven to be true, you proceed towards, you form a theory. But if the hypothesis is still not true, you cancel it and go back again. This is what you keep doing until you get the hypothesis what? Correct. Now, if you do and get tired of and keep doing, the hypothesis is not working, you may give up if you want. Or other scientists may come to check what you are not doing well. Some scientists may come and take up that experiment and look at, they may get it right. Now, or it may be that what you are observing is nonsense. There is nothing to observe. Just leave it and go your way. Are we together? Now, but if the hypothesis is true, you go to what? Theory. Now, in theory you now say, yes, I've done this. This is what it is. Other scientists will come and look at that your theory and start testing it in different parts of the world to check whether your theory is correct. If your theory is consistently showing to be correct, it will become a what? A law. It will become a what? A law. Or what? Or what? Principle. It will become a law or what? Principle. That's why you keep hearing Mendel's law. Mendel's law. Who are there about Mendel's law before? Who are there about Mendel's law? In genetics. Who? That's how today the law stands. These are the different stages. The one carried out experiment, trying to prove, looking into inheritance. And the law has been non-existent today. Because it has been proven all reasonable doubt that this is what it is. Until today, nobody has disproved him till today. Are we together? Good. Now, this is basically what happens in what? What happens in what? Scientific method. Now, what is when I think I've mentioned this before. When an hypothesis has been tested and found to be repeatedly correct within the limits of what? Available evidence, it becomes a what? Theory. So consistently showing the same thing, that means it will move to what? Theory. Okay? Now if the theory is verified, extensively tested and studied, and it also proved to be what? True, it will go to what? Become a law or what? Principle. Hello? That is what happens in what? Scientific what? Method. And this scientific method is not only in everything called science. If you want to truly carry out research, you must pass through this what? Process we call what? Scientific what? Method. Does it make sense? Good. Now, please get your biology textbook. Study this. Not all biology textbook may have this scientific method, but I think modern biology has it. I think even chemistry, even useful chemistry has scientific method You can go through it and study it and understand what scientific method is. Okay? Now, so this is what we mean by scientific, and this is how scientists should reason. Researchers in different areas of sciences pass through what? This method. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions so far? Any question on the definition of biology, meaning of biology, usefulness of biology, scientific method? Any question there? Now, I think I mentioned branches of biology, right? I said we have botany, we have what? Zoology. Hello? We have botany and we have what? Zoology. Botany studies what? Animal. Botany, okay, thank you. Botany studies what? Plants. Why zoology studies what? Is the study of what? Animals. Now, there are other sub-branches. These sub-branches are rooted in botany and what? Zoology. There are some branches that are rooted in zoology. There are some branches that are rooted in what? Botany. Are we together? Good. Then they have different names. They have different names. There are some branches that has a link between zoology and what? Botany. If you are studying parasitology, even though it's not a direct branch of what? It's not a direct branch of what? Biology. It's under what? Zoology. Parasitology is the study of what? Parasite. True of us. Parasite. Some parasite may be plant, hope you know. Some parasite may be what? Animals. Have you not seen why I said that there are some branches that has link between zoology and what? But there are some that are purely what? Purely what? Under what? Zoology. If you want to study, let's assume now you want to study physiology now. Physiology, even though we also have plant physiology, we also have animal what? Physiology. Anatomy. Anatomy is also a branch of what? Biology. But we have part of an anatomy, and we have plant anatomy, we have animal what? Anatomy. Under animal anatomy, we have human anatomy and what have you. True of us. Now we also have microbiology. Microbiology, I'm listing different ancillary what? Branches of what? Biology. We have microbiology. Microbiology studies what? Micro what? Organism. True of us. True of us. Then we have histology. Histology studies what? Tissues. True of us. True. Now these things are branches of what? Biology. There are many of them. But the basic branch of biology we have is what? Plant and what? Zoology and what? Botany. And a scientist that studies zoology is a what? Zoology. So the scientist that studies animal is a what? Zoologist. While the one for plant is what? Botanist. Okay? Good. Now, with this, that will come to an end in the introductory parts of what? Biology. You can read extensively, listen to this note, this lecture, get your textbook, read extensively on this introduction part. So if there's no question, we stop here for the introductory part of what? Biology. All right, thank you very much for your attention. See you. Good. Before I end this class, I want to ask a question. Do you think there's usefulness of biology in? Have you heard of biotechnology? Have you heard of biotechnology? Now, I want to give assignment now. Put it down. I want you to really, in our next class, I will hear what you did. I want you to look at what is biotechnology first. Do it then. If you go to class, I will explain that. But I want you to do it. What is biotechnology? Then, if you first of all write what biotechnology is, okay? Then you now talk about the importance of biology in what? Technology. Simple. This is what I want you to do In our next class, we will review it. You come out here, tell us what you did. Find out what is research it. Get your phone. This is time to use your phone properly. Find out what is biotechnology. Then find out the usefulness of or importance of biology or relevance of biology to what? Biotechnology. I want you to find that one out. So see you next time.